Let's welcome back to MidPoint, President of the Catholic League for Religious and Civil Rights since 1993. Our friend Bill Donohue joins us. All right, Bill, just like Christmas, New Year's, taxes, Halloween, Thanksgiving, everything else, here we go. The quote-unquote war on Christmas billboard from the atheists this year. They decided to go once again with a little humor because they putting up a billboard now in Memphis, Nashville, Milwaukee, St. Louis, Fort Smith, Arkansas. Dear Santa, all I want for Christmas is to skip church. I'm too old for fairy tales. Does this really get much done? I mean, look, is this really such a bad thing? Sure, it's the way they feel, but does it make any real difference?
No, it really doesn't. 96% of the American people celebrate Christian, even if only 80% are Christian themselves. Now, this one that they're doing this year, it's kind of innocent. So, people like myself pretty much ignore it. I mean, who cares what they think? What they did last year and about 2-3 years ago, they got pretty ugly. You know, the pictures of Jesus and the blood coming down his face. And they tried to exploit Jesus' imagery to make a cheap political point. That's when I get angry. This is just more silly than it is obscene. And
also, I think it was a couple of years ago in Times Square, didn't they have a billboard? I think it might have been last year that said something else, basically, that said it was all fairy tales, or the myth, I believe they called it, right?
Well, they did, and I answered them with that. I said the myth is what they believe in. Exactly. And we had a battle of the billboards, so to speak, on either side of the Lincoln Tunnel in New York. They took theirs out on the Jersey side. I took mine out on the Manhattan side. I have a billboard coming up, too. It's going to be in Hollywood, and we'll be making announcements about that. But, the American atheists are looking for donors. They're in competition with the Freedom from Religion Foundation. American atheists are out of Jersey. The Freedom from Religion Foundation's out of Madison, Wisconsin. There aren't enough atheists in this country. There's only a couple of percent of them who you can actually depend on in ponying up for this nonsense. So they're in competition to try to jack it up and get some press attention out of it. As long as they don't get ugly and hit below the belt and they act silly like they are this year, then that's fine with me.
All right, here's an offshoot question here right now. Does the Catholic Church really care about Santa Claus? I mean, because let's face it, it's for kids, it's something that's there, but there's a lot of Catholics that I've met over the years who say, I'm sick and tired. Santa Claus is not what the holiday is about. We don't need to see it. We see it in the Macy's parade. Is that really a thing that Catholics and the Vatican even make a big stink about?
Absolutely not. I mean, we know him as Saint Nick, and that's fine and all good. Look, Christmas is about the word, Christ. That's what upsets atheists. All right, that's why they say we don't want you to say the word Christmas. Why? It's about Christ. They say you can talk about it as a holiday. Well, that's kind of tricky too, Ed, because the word holiday means holy day. And after all, what holiday are we celebrating at the end of December? So it's kind of a catch-22 with these guys. No, Christmas is about Jesus Christ. Santa Claus is a nice secular symbol. If you want to say his religious roots, that's fine. And it's good for kids, and Catholics all enjoy that. But the people who get upset about this, let's face it, most Americans, like I say, 96% celebrate Christmas. Of the other 4%, they're not angry. So what we're talking about is a tiny minority of people in this country who have a pathological hatred of all things Christian. They really need to get some treatment, especially this time of the year.
What do you say to people who come up to you and say happy holidays?
Well, I'm not offended by it, but, once in a while I'll say to them, what holiday are we being happy about? I mean, look, I'm not Jewish. I wish my Jewish friends happy Hanukkah. And my Jewish friends are not afraid to hear the dreaded words, Merry Christmas. You have to be some type of a sensitivity moron to get so apoplectic about these words, particularly every December. As I say, it's only a few percent of the people who do it, but this is multiculturalism on steroids, and I think it should be rejected by all honest Americans.
I got about a minute left here. A conference call yesterday. Rick Santorum was on it. There was a caller who talked about the Democrat Party and the president is pushing for tenets of the Communist Manifesto, talking about the separation of church and state. Santorum fires back. He says, well, the word separation of church and state is not in the U.S. Constitution, but it was in the Constitution of the former Soviet Union. That's where it very, very comfortably sat, not in ours. Isn't this just the left just trying to put words into somebody's mouth again and make a big fight over nothing?
Right, and we know what the First Amendment says. Congress shall pass no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. Madison wrote it. We know what he meant. You couldn't have a national church, and you couldn't show favoritism of one religion over another. So the left tries to make this up and tries to make it sound like as if Santorum, myself, anybody else who believes in Christmas and in the First Amendment, somehow we're the problem. No, they're the problem. Unfortunately, a lot of the people on the left have become diehard secularists. They are fundamentalists. They are people who are orthodox. They are devout atheists and agnostics, and they're the ones who have the problem, and I think more and more American people should be speaking up about it. You know, they're not going to put us on the defensive. They're the losers in December, not us.
All right. Hey, Bill, look, in case we don't get a chance to talk to you between now and then, let me just go ahead and say I'll drop the happy holidays. Merry Christmas, my friend. Thanks so much for joining us.
Merry Christmas, man.
All right, Bill.
Thank
Bill
you, buddy.
Donohue, take care. All right, break, and we return with good news for those who may have overindulged already for the holidays. You've noticed an extra inch or two, perhaps, on the belt. Not this kid. There might actually be some good news for you, or at least some not so bad news. And at 51 minutes after the hour, fighting alongside the Libyans just because you're out seeking a sense of adventure. It's a brand new film. We'll talk to the star. That and so much more coming up right here on MidPoint, where every day we question everything.